So last night I was checking out the highlights for the Nuggets and Spurs game. Obviously, Denver came away with a late victory coming off of a big three-point shot by Michael Porter Jr. to seal it. But watching Victor Wembanyama, and I've made a million videos already about him, seeing the things that he's doing, not only just throughout the course of his rookie season, but specifically against some of the league's best players. Right, whenever he matches up with the greatest players at his position, he always performs at an extremely high level. Seeing the numbers he's putting up, seeing his production combined with his usage throughout the entire year and his elite all-around play, I would have to make the statement, and it's been a conversation on a lot of different sports channels, a lot of different sports shows. I would agree with some people in saying that he may just be the best rookie we've seen in NBA history. Now, have we had other guys through the course of NBA history score more than him his rookie year? Yes. Right. He's not the highest scoring rookie of all time. There have been guys who have put up, around the near the mid 20s in their first seasons and everything like that. We also had Blake Griffin on his rookie season. He was an all-star in his first year. I don't know if we've seen a rookie be an all-star in their first season since then. So we've had some pretty impressive rookie seasons. Luka Doncic in his rookie year was off the chain. But with Victor, I don't think we've ever seen a rookie. We've watched him play. We watched the things that he did. And we made this determination after just his first season. This guy definitely has GOAT potential. With Luka, it took us a couple years to realize that he could end up in that conversation at some point. LeBron, maybe, right? I'm not sure we were convinced after year one that LeBron could end up in GOAT combos, but then again, the hype was kind of there for him coming into his first year. Blake Griffin, as I mentioned earlier, was amazing in his rookie season, but we weren't talking about greatest of all time at all. We've had some really impressive rookies. This is the first guy, at least from what I've seen. Yeah, Kevin Durant was great in his rookie year, but we weren't ready to put him in, future GOAT conversations. It took us a few years to kind of get to that level. With Victor and seeing his production, not just as a scorer, but from a defensive standpoint, his passing upside, I mentioned it before, his usage, his ability to rebound, seeing all of those things. He's the first rookie where after that first season, we can definitively say he has the potential to become one of the greatest, if not the greatest player of all time. It's the only rookie I've seen we were able to make that determination after his first season. And again, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but it's the first time I'm watching a rookie and I'm convinced he could end up being the GOAT. The first time I've seen it happen. And what I love about him is he does all of the true center stuff, right? So we talk a lot about 7-footers or 7-foot plus guys who don't do a lot of the true center things, right? And it limits their game. So that was a big criticism of Kristaps Porzingis, right? You're 7 foot plus, but you're spending majority of your time outside of the three-point line playing on the perimeter. And it's kind of limiting your game. What's the point of being that tall if you're not going to take advantage of the height? No, Victor's not like that. He can be that true center type of guy. He has that true center type of impact. He's going to defend at a high level. I mentioned it before, nearly 4 blocks per game. So if he wasn't on a bad team, he would be defensive player of the year by far. If he was not on a bad team, he would be running with deep point in his rookie year. He's an amazing rebounder. Right now, he's leading the league, or he's one of the league's leaders in defensive rebounding percentage. You can play him inside a little bit. We saw it last night where they kind of got the ball to him in the paint, and he attacked. He had a big clutch bucket, I think, on Aaron Gordon late. So you can play him on the interior as well. He has to get a little more bigger inside and play bigger inside to be able to kind of bully guys down there, almost like we saw Tim Duncan do. He's not there just yet, but he can play the paint. He can be that pick and roll guy. He can be that threat around the rim. We're seeing Trey Jones and guys just throw the ball up to him, and he's finishing around the basket in the paint. So he can dominate down there. On top of that, he's got that ability to dominate on the perimeter. His percentages don't show it, but he has the potential to be an elite shooter. He can make difficult shots off the catch and off the dribble. We've seen him knock down a ridiculous amount of shots off the dribble and creating for himself throughout his first season in the NBA. And then, as I mentioned before, the passing. So there is a possibility that at some point, we're going to see this dude bringing the ball up court, initiating plays. Not crazy to say because we've already seen flashes of that this season. We've seen them experiment with it a little bit here and there. Will it lead to winning? We'll see. We'll see about all of that stuff. But this sample size we got from him in his rookie season as it's coming to a close, I don't think we've ever been convinced after just one season, yeah, this guy could end up being the greatest player of all time. Good. As I said, with Luka, it took us I think with Luka, it was about by his second year, right? Which was the COVID year when he was cooking the Clippers in the bubble. I think it was his second season. So that's when we made that determination that he can end up being in that conversation with LeBron. He got into that conversation pretty early with Katie, as I mentioned. It took a couple of years. So there were a few guys, but not that many guys in their rookie year with that type of production. We've been able to make that determination that he could end up being in that conversation one day, end up being in that conversation with Jordan, with Kobe, with LeBron, with Shaq, with Wilt, with the all-time greats after just 1 year. He's been unbelievable. And I said it at the beginning of the video, I just love how he plays up to his competition. He has so many iconic rookie year games against some of the league's best. When he matched up against Kevin Durant, had multiple amazing showings against him. Nikola Jokic, like last night, yeah, Jokic got 42 on him, but still, he had an amazing game. He had 9 blocks. Even Jokic was ridiculously impressed. Matched up against Giannis. I think that was my favorite Victor Wembanyama performance. In that one game, we saw him throw a self-alley-oop off the glass in half court, go behind the back, and dunk on somebody in transition and stuff Giannis at the rim. So he's played up to his competition. When he's matched up against Anthony Davis a couple times this year, he's played very, very well. So it's not like, and I love how that counteracts this idea, because a lot of people, when he came into his rookie season, they were saying, well, he's really skinny. How's he going to be able to perform against some of the more physical players at his position? He's got an iconic performance against Giannis, like I mentioned. He's got an iconic performance against Nikola Jokic, as I mentioned. Yeah, Embiid got 70 on him, but he also had a pretty good game offensively against Joel Embiid. Had amazing games against Kevin Durant, where we saw Kevin Durant a couple of times seem in awe of what he's seeing in Victor Wembanyama. We saw him do it against some of the league's best, against the league's best. If we consider Giannis as the best player in the NBA, we saw Giannis and Victor go at it, pretty much go bucket for bucket, go highlight play for highlight play with each other. We saw the same with Nikola Jokic. If you refer to Nikola Jokic as the best player in the NBA, we saw Victor play amazing against him as well. He's consistently played up to his competition. So now that big criticism of, oh, how's he going to do once he's playing guys that are actually good at his position? How's he going to do now that he's actually got a matchup against guys that are physical at his position? He silenced that. And on top of that, his durability has been amazing. I'm not going to lie. With his build, I was surprised at how durable he was, at how he avoided injuries his entire rookie year. I was genuinely surprised. I thought that was going to be an issue. He's played 67 games. So he's played a vast majority of the Spurs games. And we thought he was going to get load managed. We thought that they were going to sit him for a good amount of the year. That was a major conversation coming into the season. And I know that would have been weird with the NBA's new regulations about the minimum amount of games you have to play in order to be eligible for awards and things like that. But there was a conversation about the Spurs not going all out with him in his first year and not having him out there for every single game and not rushing that. That was a conversation. Nope. He's been out there and he's been playing. He may be the most available Spur this year. I have to go back and look at the numbers. No major injuries, high usage rate. He gets the ball. He's creating. He's not just sitting in the paint, not getting the ball, not getting his looks. No, he's out there doing it. All those things have been extremely impressive for a guy who's also a physical anomaly, even in NBA standards. All of those things added up together. And you can't help but think, after just his first season, after just 67 games of NBA basketball, this guy could end up being the GOAT. Now, there are other things that have to be filled out in order for us to get there totally, right? We've got to see if he can have all of this translate to winning. So we know one major stepping stone for a great young player into being a superstar player is knowing if his game can translate to the playoffs. We always had that question. There are some guys who we've seen being great in the regular season, and once it comes to the postseason, they're not able to make that major leap. There have been a number of guys like that over the course of the last couple of years. So there's going to be that. We have to see that Victor's style of play and Victor's dominance can translate into the playoffs. That was a question with Giannis before he won his first ring. Yeah, he's amazing. He's putting up almost 30 and 10 every night during the regular season, but once he gets to the playoffs, there's this wall that he hits. That was a question about Luka. Can Luka do all of this in the postseason? Is his game going to be translatable in the postseason? So there are a lot of other things he's got to be able to fill out in order to totally get there. But as I said, you can't help but look at him in this first season and consider the fact that, man, never seen a rookie play quite like this. Never seen a rookie this productive. Never seen a rookie be this impressive physically. Rarely have we seen a rookie play up to his competition quite like this. At a point in time, we're going to be considering this man as the greatest basketball player of all time. if all the other things end up filling out. But as far as the raw skill and the natural talent, and we can't forget, it's not like they've totally polished a system around him just yet. That's the most impressive thing. They have not totally figured out a system around Victor just yet. The Spurs have not totally fleshed out their offense around him. They're going to get another lottery pick. So once they get another guy in, that's when we may start seeing them formulate some things as far as having a true system around Victor Wembanyama. But they haven't even done that yet. So you're going 21, 10, and 4 with almost 4 assists in your rookie season without having a true offensive system built around you. It's going to get scary. And even if his scoring numbers dip, right? Once he kind of hits his prime, because I can see him, he probably won't be a 30-point per game scorer, especially in San Antonio and especially under Greg Popovich. And we'll see how long Greg Popovich stays, throughout his career, throughout Wemby's career. But still, all those things he brings to the table, that skill set, he impacts so many different parts of the game. He covers the playmaking aspect, the rebounding aspect, controlling the boards, the defensive aspect. So now we're seeing him protect the paint very well. Well, what if we start seeing him lock down guards on the perimeter, which he's shown flashes of doing in his first season. I can't wait to see how this thing ends up turning out for Victor, and I can't wait to see how the Spurs continue to build what could be a future NBA dynasty around his talent.